We'll see it very shortly, so will you. Thanks for joining us on Main Event Television, your home of all of the big fights. So right around Australia this afternoon, I'm Clinton Grybas, and it's great to have you with us. This has become almost a surreal soap opera, hasn't it? Plenty of storylines ahead of what is going to be a grand occasion. Can Oscar De La Hoya inflict the first defeat on Floyd Mayweather Jr? It is the WBC Light Middleweight Championship title fight from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. They grossed more than $19 million in US ticket sales in a 3-hour buying binge. Right now, the scalpers are selling ringside seats for $20,000. And over the next half hour before we take you to Las Vegas, we've got a lot coming up, and we're going to be having a big look at the Australian boxing scene. Coming up over the course of the next half hour, joining me right here, we'll be hearing from Danny Green ahead of his fight against Manny Siaka on May 30 in Perth. Paul Briggs, the #1 contender for the WBC light heavyweight division. Victor Chinyan, the IBF-IBO flyweight champ, will tell us about his next opponent. Leading boxing writer Paul Upham on the team as well. And as always, joining me on Main Event Boxing, my very good friend, Barry Michael. Good to see you again.
Good to be here, Clint.
The waiting is just about over. This is one that fight fans everywhere have been excited about.
Oh, unbelievable hype, and deserves to be, because two super fighters here, and I think it's a fantastic matchup. Look, I'm an Oscar fan. I've been watching Oscar De La Hoya for so many years. It's hard to believe he's just turned 34. Floyd Mayweather's the favourite and probably deserves to be with his unbeaten record, but I've got to stick with Oscar De La Hoya, and I'll explain why as we go on. Could
it be potentially the last fight of the career for whoever loses? Oscar is 2-2 in his last 4 fights, as we know, and Floyd has said as well that, look, this could be the last fight of his career.
Well, Oscar's made so much money, and he's won so many championships, and you would think that if he did win or lose, you'd think that it would have to be his last fight. With Floyd Mayweather, I think if Floyd was the victor, I think he would continue to cement his legacy. But look, it's a fantastic matchup. The reason I sort of lean towards Oscar, I think he's bigger. He's fought better opponents. He's been fighting at light middleweight and up to middleweight for over 10 years. Light middleweight's a great weight for him. He doesn't want to go out a loser. He's a fighter that needs the inspiration to get up for a big fight, and this is the fight that is going to get him up there. Floyd's probably faster, but he's smaller. I don't believe he's had to dig as deep as Oscar has in some of the fights that he's won, and I really don't believe that Floyd has fought the calibre of fighters that Oscar De La Hoya has defeated in the past.
All right, look forward to more of your comments on that later on. Anthony Mundine was going to be joining us on our coverage as well today. He's overseas on business commitments. One man who knows Anthony all too well, and well, I would have liked to have seen them get back in the studio together. Danny Green, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you too, Clinton. Thanks for having me on.
And look, on a big day for Australian fight fans, world fight fans, really, isn't it?
Well, hello to everyone out there viewing at home. Today's a good day for me because I get to be a spectator for a change. I guess having fought in probably the biggest boxing event in Australian boxing history, I didn't get to experience a huge fight of that as a spectator. So today I'm excited to get to sit at home. The boys are coming over to watch it live on TV and get some pizzas and some orange juice and relax and sit back and kick back and watch what is going to be one of the fights of the year. So I'm really excited.
I assume you can't have too many of the pizza side of things, given May 30 is coming up fast.
No, it'll probably be something I guess less tasty than pizza for me. But that's the life of a boxer while they're training for a fight in the middle of a very very arduous and kind of torturous preparation at the moment. The makeup ladies have done a great job masking the black eye and the crooked nose, so it's good, and today's my day off, so I get to relax, kick back and enjoy a great fight.
Fighting at light heavyweight now, as we know. Looking back at the last 12 months for you, particularly the biggest fight in Australian history, Aussie Stadium for last year. We all spoke about it at the time, the weight, getting down to super middleweight. How hard was that for you, getting to super middleweight for May 17?
It was very difficult. It was, it's no surprise. It's no secret that I had to shed nearly 10 kilograms. Yeah. So it was a big ask, but that's life and that's boxing, and I don't make any excuses. I really don't want that to be an excuse. It isn't an excuse because, it was my choice to make that weight, and I realised after the fight that I can't make super middleweight anymore. It's simply unhealthy. I had to diet 4 months to make the weight, but Anthony Mundine had to lose the weight as well. So as a fighter, you all go through that. Light heavyweight is a far more comfortable division for me. I get to have breakfast, which sounds crazy, but that's basically the best part about it. So, yeah, it's a good thing to wake up in the morning and be able to rehydrate and replenish and have fuels for the day's training. But I'm very comfortable at light heavyweight. I've carried my power through that. I've shown that in my last two victories against world title contenders, and put them both away inside the distance. And my next fight against Siaka, will no doubt be the biggest and strongest opponent I've faced. He's a light heavyweight now as well. He's had four fights at light heavyweight division since he lost his world title he took away from Mundine in 2004. He's a very, very strong guy. He's had 18 KOs from 20 victories. I've had 21 KOs from 23 victories. So I guess the records and history will show that it's going to be a pretty exciting, explosive, bout full of action, and that's why I'm training so hard for it.
You spoke about the comeback and great results against Delisle and Murdoch. We'll have a look at some of the highlights here from the Delisle Green 2 fight. Did you ever ponder your future after the Anthony Mundine fight? Did you consider retirement at all?
Not once. The last words I said to the ring announcer was, "I'll be back."
Yeah. And
that was the last thing I said before I left the ring.
And Barry and I both said, and Barry, Danny has looked fantastic in these last 2 fights against Delisle, and then simply awesome against Murdoch back in January.
Oh, incredible! I mean, this fight was Danny's first fight at light heavyweight, and I think it was the round before you stopped him. He hit you with a good right hand. It was like you came out in the next round and you just, bombarded him, and it was just vintage Danny Green, and just so strong, so much power. And then the fight with Paul Murdoch. Very rare you see a guy get dropped hard with the left jab, but Danny dropped him with the left jab in the first round, and stopped Paul in the second. And I was Paul's a long-term mate of mine. I was actually glad to see his father throw the towel in, because Danny was going to do some serious damage to him, but he looked awesome. He did.
Yeah. Was that Murdoch one? Why were you so hard so early in that one? I mean, you just came out and threw everything in that first round. It wasn't like anything talk about pacing yourself in that one.
We decided probably the last 3 or 4 days to go out there and go out a lot stronger than we previously anticipated to do. In the lead up to in the preparation, my weight was good. There was very little injury. I was sparring well. I was putting sparring partners away, and I just felt very, very good. And I actually think I peaked on the night or the day before the fight, which is a very rare thing for a fighter to be able to achieve. So I just felt so good in the change rooms, warming up, doing the pads. Just felt on fire. So when we went out there, I didn't actually. My aim wasn't to put him away in 2 rounds. That's just the way it turned out. I was punching very clean, very crisp, and I could have fought at that pace for 12 rounds. That's how good I felt. And the fact that he went 10 rounds with Zolt Erdei 8 months earlier, the world champion, is I think, testament to the fact that I've carried my power through the next division, and I'm really excited about this next upcoming fight with Siaka.
All right. Did you go to school on what Siaka's done the last couple of fights? Have you seen his fights? You said recently that you felt his fight against Anthony Mundine was a lacklustre affair. We're going to have a look at some of the highlights of that. Why did you think it was a lacklustre affair?
Both fighters were, well, there wasn't a lot of action. I mean, if you ask anyone about the fight, there was very little action in the fight. Anthony was on the back foot the whole time.
Which was surprising, wasn't it?
Yeah, Manny pressed the fight, so that's why he won. He dropped Anthony in the second round and pressed most of the action during the whole fight. So I think that's why the decision was given to Siaka. It was a close fight, but Siaka did win the fight. There's no two ways about it. But the reason I said it was lacklustre, there just wasn't much action. There wasn't a lot of trading going on, and it was a fairly kind of timid kind of pace set by both fighters. Manny wasn't really kind of out there trying to do a hell of a lot. He could have done more, I thought, and Anthony could have done more as well. But I think Anthony learned a lot from that fight, and then against Kessler, obviously against me, he's proven that he's one of the best fighters in the world.
Kessler went and beat Siaka, KO in the 8th to take that title off him. He put the pressure on Siaka early. What's your plan?
Well, watching Kessler, what he did to Siaka, he destroyed him. He didn't give him a chance. He just went out there and was very focused mentally and physically. He was very switched on during the game. He didn't give him a chance, and Siaka didn't come out for the 8th round. Obviously, it's no secret what my style is, and we plan to apply a lot of pressure early, and I'm sure he's going to accommodate me in that kind of game plan as well. He's going to come to fight as well. That's why we expect to be it to be a very, very tough and I guess it's going to be a war.
Let's have a look at the details for it. They will be fighting for the vacant IBO Asia Pacific Light Heavyweight title. Danny 34, Manny 31, identical on the height, the reach, and you see the records there, 23-3 with 21 KOs. Manny 20-6, 16 knockouts, but he has fought 6 times in a world title fight as Manny Siaka, so no shortage of experience there for him.
Manny Siaka's had a lot of experience, and as you said there, he's the same size as Danny. As a super middleweight, he was a big guy as well, and it's obviously a natural move to him to move to light heavyweight. It's going to be I think it's going to be a great fight, but Danny comes out of the blocks fast and puts the pressure on him, and I think he's going to be able to do what Mikel Kessler did to Manny Siaka, because I don't think Siaka will like to fight on the back foot. You know, with Anthony Mundine, he walked up continually, had Anthony Mundine on the back foot from the first minute of the first round, basically. And I know Danny Green won't let him do that, and I expect him to dictate the fight. But it's going to be great to watch.
Here is the date to reserve in your diaries. It's at Challenge Stadium in Perth, and it will be from 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, May the 30th. For more details, log on www.mainevent.com.au. I know you have to take it one fight at a time. That is the nature of the industry, but another nature of the industry is to look ahead, and that's what promoters love doing. It's what journalists, fight fans love doing as well, looking ahead. One, is there a rematch on the cards with Anthony Mundine?
Well, I should have my promoter sitting here with me, so you better speak to him because that's his job to organise that and to worry about that more than anything. There are tentative talks in motion for a rematch, but I really am focused. So this is a world title eliminator. The winner of this fight potentially gets to fight the winner of Antonio Tarver's next bout, which is, I think, slated for June 9. So there's big things ahead after this fight as well as Mundine. So the future is very big after for the victor of this next fight between myself and Siaka. So I really can't afford to look past Manny Siaka. Sounds silly, sounds crazy, but my mind is just switched on, so focused and so driven towards beating Manny Siaka. And I really just think, eat, sleep, shower, just walk around the shop, shadow boxing, and just, you know, thinking about Manny Siaka, what I have to do to defeat him, what he's going to try and do to defeat me. Salas and I have watched a lot of video footage of Manny Siaka and what he has to offer. He's been in world title fights, 6 times, and he's won one of those. So he's a very experienced campaigner who, his father's trained 23 world champions, Manny Siaka Senior. It's a very, very tough proposition coming over to our shores to try and take the eliminator away from me. So if I win against Manny Siaka, potentially the IBO world title is up against is up for grabs against Antonio Tarver. So it's a huge fight for me personally. And I'm really just looking forward to beating Manny Siaka.
And in closing, you won't fight at super middleweight again then, based on what you've said?
I'll never fight at super middleweight again. I'm not a super middleweight anymore. I've learnt that. My second fight against Bayer too, the rematch with Marcus Bayer, and also against Anthony Mundine, making super middleweight was basically unhealthy for me. And I've decided that light heavyweight is the only way I can go, and that's where I'm comfortable, and that's my new weight division. And it happens with all fighters. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Look at Oscar De La Hoya. They've all moved up the rankings slowly as they've got old, and they've transformed into a larger weight, and that's me.
Best of luck. We'll be watching intently on the road to May 30. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks very much, Clinton. Thanks, Barry.
Great to have Danny Green with us. For more details on that fight on May 30, log on to mainevent.com.au. Plenty more coming up as we count down Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather Jr. heading to Las Vegas shortly on a big day for De La Hoya.